Hello humans! So today is Christmas Eve! 2017 has like flown by. Because it's Christmas Eve, of course, I've got to, obviously. I thought, I kind of always throw shade at books on my channel, so why not make a video about books that I love? Because it's so soon to the end of the year and I'm not really going to read a lot of books in this time, like from now until New Year. Probably going to manage to read maybe just like one more book. So I thought it was the right time to finally present to you my favourite books of 2017. So obviously not all of these books have come out this year. These are just the books that I have read this year. I narrowed it down to 10 books, so I kind of made a top 10, and from like the 45 books I've read in total this year. So these are just my top 10 books of 2017. Let's just start. The first book I have here is one I read in January, and I read half of it in 2016 because it's really long. And it's Game of Thrones by Youre Made. This is a really good book. I think I give it a 4 out of 5 stars because you have to take into account that it's really difficult to read. It takes a lot of time, and it took me like 4 months or something to get through it. But it was really an enjoyable read. I really find reading Game of Thrones books relaxing in a way. It's really weird to say relaxing since they're difficult to read and you have to really be there because otherwise you just don't understand anything. But I find it just very easy to immerse myself into this world. So whenever I open a book and I just start reading, I'm immediately there. I don't read a lot at a time because it's not always like super interesting, so I read a bit here and there. Yeah. Game of Thrones is number 10. Moving on to a book I've read in autumn. So it's the last book I really read for myself, and this one took me really by surprise because it's so weird how much I like this book, because I bought it because I was like, oh, that's interesting, not because I thought, oh my god, that would be awesome. And this book is One of Us is Lying by Carmen McManus, and I thought this was going to be like a really cliche story since the characters are the biggest cliches there are. Like a princess, a geek, a jock and a criminal. It's a typical like high school drama group of characters. But I liked the way how the story was written, so you got the perspective of all 4 of these. For those of you who do not know what this book is about, basically 5 kids go into detention and one of them ends up dying, and then it's like, who killed that kid? And basically that's the story. And even the story, it's not really super original, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed this book. I had a great time reading it. It was really interesting, especially since all 4 of the characters start off so cliche and so stereotypical, and you're just like, ugh, no. But then these characters all grow individually, and the growth they make in this book is just super lovely, and I love that about this, and I loved the set of characters. I enjoyed them all, and I was really anxious because of that, because I was just like, no, I don't want any of them to be the murderer. And it says like One of Us is Lying, so I was always panicking because these are all my children. So number 8 is Our Dark Duet, which is the second book of the Monsters of Rarity duology by Victoria Schwab. And I really enjoyed this book. I really liked it. I liked it a lot better than the first book because the story was just really fast, and I loved the world in general. Like, world in these books is amazing, and I kind of want more from this universe because it's just such a great constructed world with super good characters, and you can just do so much in that place, and I want more because it's so interesting, because I love the different kinds of monsters that there are. Concept is really phenomenal. I only ended up giving this like a 4.5 out of 5 stars because although I really love this duology because of the characters, because of the world, I don't know what, but there's just something missing for me, and I cannot really point out what it is. I mean, I really love August, I really like Katie too. I don't know what it is that is missing, and I cannot point it out. I cannot tell you what it is. It's just a small something that keeps this from being a 5-star book. But it was still great anyways. It's my number 8. Then my number 7, and I'm going to see a lot of shocked people because oh my god, how can it be so low on anyone's list? Like, but this book is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, and I really enjoyed this book. It was really good. I even ended up giving it 5 stars in Goodreads, although it's more like a 4.75 for me. I kind of wanted to give it 4 stars, but I was like, okay, stop being petty, I'm just going to give 5 stars, although it's not a 5-star book for me. It's really a good book. It has a lot of action in it. It's really interesting all the time, and there are a lot of new characters which are really lovely and really enjoyable in this book. But I still have issues with the entire series, with the writing at times. There are just certain things I do not enjoy about this book that have to do with marking like people and really old gender roles, sort of those things, which if you know me IRL, or if you have stuck around here for long enough, you might know that I hate gender roles. I'm totally against that. I'm just like, everyone can do whatever the fuck they want to. Stop being so into that male and female role. I'm just like, no. But these just still are kind of stuck in that place, which take away from my enjoyment. But other than that, it's really a good book. It has so many different layers. There are so many magical places where you go to in this book, which is amazing, and the characters are amazing, and it's a really great book. All in all, the book I read during my 24-hour readathon, which really blew up, by the way. It's viewed so many times. Oh my god, thanks. But yeah, it's A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and I just adore this story. I think I read it really in a good time, because in the morning when you're in a vulnerable position, it kind of gets to you more. I really enjoyed this concept of the different tales that are told. I love the paintings and images that are in here. Those are just phenomenal. I kind of then view this as a cancer sort of story, which is, I think, a problem some people have with this book. But for me, it was the tales as individual tales which had the most impact on me, even more than like the overall story, because I thought the tales were awesome. I loved the morals of the different tales, and that the world is not black and white, which is a bit ironic because everything's black and white in here, and nor is good and evil. That's the great thing about the tales, and the story in general is a story about love and letting go and grief. So the next book I have here is one I absolutely love. It's such a happy book. It's such a cute book. Oh, I'm just gonna like... It's Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and oh, I love this book. It's so cute. It's such a fluffy, amazing story, which is just... it plasters a smile on your face. I cried so much reading this book because I was so happy. I cannot even describe my feelings that well because it was just so overwhelmingly amazing. And the movie is coming out next year and the trailer just looks perfect, and I'm so excited. So the next book is one I talked about multiple times on my channel because I'm always like, read it! So it's Love and Space Dust. That is my number 4 book of the year by David Jones. I love this poetry collection. It's my favorite poetry collection simply because the poems are written really big and there are very different poems in there. Love poems, existential sort of poems, poems about madness and just everything I love. There are really like cheesy poems in here which I don't like that much, but there are amazing ones in there too. I mean, I talk about this in one of my wrap-ups, and I even read some poems out loud of this book. So yeah, you can just like, I'm going to leave it linked up there. The next book is also one I really love, and oh, I'm kind of sad it's on number 3, but such a great book. And it's Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin L. Sands. It's kind of hard to say that every time, but this is an amazing book. It's such a lovely, heartwarming, cute story about my 2 children who just are kind of growing up and trying to find themselves and their place in this crazy world, and I love it. Then number 2 on my list is a book which broke my heart, and then I was in a really bad reading slump for about a month. It's Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I've talked about this book multiple times. It's phenomenal. In one of the corners I'm going to leave a link to my review. There I talk about all of my feelings about this book, and I have so many. It was so great. It was like the best Cassandra Clare book ever. I absolutely love it. The final book, this was actually the first book I've read this year, and I've read it January 1st, but still it's my favourite book of the year, although it was like the first one I read and I read it a year ago almost. It's just, I cannot. This book is phenomenal. It blew my mind. I loved it so much. So obviously Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo has to be my number 1 book. The Sword is absolutely killing me. It's amazing. It's so good. These characters are all my children and my babies, and I love them all so much. Kaz Brekker is my all-time favorite character. I love him. I absolutely adore him and his mind and his everything, and oh, this book is just too great. I cannot even. I just wish that I could kind of erase my mind and just read this duology all over again and experience all of the feelings and everything, because this is just amazing. This baby deserves to be the number 1 this year. It's just too good. It's amazing. I love it so much. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. These are my favourite books of 2017, and 2017 is ending. And I'm having a crisis because in 2 months I'm going to be an adult and I don't want to grow up. Please let me be a child forever. Can I not just go to Neverland? Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna end this video here now. Have a really nice Christmas. Well, I hope you had a nice Christmas, because by the time this video is going to be up, it's far past Christmas. And you know what? Happy New Year!